Living among the ruins of this city and spending our days reading and studying, we sometimes, for a rest, made excavations in the hope of finding something, as there are many underground passages in the ruins of Ani. Once, Bogosian and I, while digging in one of these underground passages, noticed a place where the consistency of the ground had changed. And on digging further, we discovered a new passage, which turned out to be a narrow one, blocked at the end with fallen stones. We cleared the stones away, and before us appeared a small room, with arches crumbling with age. Everything indicated that it had been a monastic cell. There was nothing left in this cell but broken pottery and pieces of rotten wood, doubtless the remains of furniture. But in a kind of niche in the corner lay a pile of parchments. Some of the parchments were turning to dust, others were more or less preserved. With the utmost care we took them to our hut and tried to decipher them. They were written in a language which appeared to be Armenian, but was unknown to us. I knew Armenian well, to say nothing of Bogosian. Nevertheless, we could not understand any of this writing, as it was a very ancient Armenian, very different from that of today. This discovery interested us so much that we left everything else and returned that same day to Alexandropol, where we spent many days and nights trying to decipher at least a few words. Finally, after a great deal of difficulty and much questioning of experts, it became clear that these parchments were simply letters written by one monk to another monk, a certain Father Arem. We were especially interested in one letter in which the writer referred to information he had received concerning certain mysteries. This parchment, however, was one of those which had been most damaged by time, and there were a number of words that we could only guess at, but we nevertheless succeeded in reconstructing the letter. What interested us most was not the beginning but the end of this letter. It began with a long greeting and went on about the ordinary small happenings in the life of a certain monastery where, as could be inferred, this Father Aram had formerly lived. Towards the end, one passage particularly attracted our attention. It said, "Our worthy Father Telvant has at last succeeded in learning the truth about the Sarmoung Brotherhood. Their Irnos," there's a footnote, the word Irnos, kind of corporation. Back to the text. Their Irnos actually did exist near the town of Siranush, and 50 years ago, soon after the migration of peoples, they also migrated and settled in the valley of Izrumin, 3 days north from Nivsi. Then the letter went on about other matters. What struck us most was the word Sarmoung, which we had come across several times in the book called Merchavat. This word is the name of a famous esoteric school which, according to tradition, was founded in Babylon as far back as 2500 BC, and which was known to have existed somewhere in Mesopotamia up to the 6th or 7th century AD, but about its further existence one could not obtain anywhere the least information. This school was said to have possessed great knowledge, containing the key to many secret mysteries. Many times had Bogosian and I talked of this school and dreamed of finding out something authentic about it, and now suddenly we found it mentioned in this parchment. We were greatly excited. But apart from its name being mentioned, we discovered nothing else from this letter. We knew no more than before when and how this school arose, where it had existed, or whether it might even still exist. After several days of laborious research, we were able to establish only the following. About the 6th or 7th century, the descendants of the Assyrians, the Isors, were driven by the Byzantines out of Mesopotamia into Persia, and probably it was in this period that these letters were written. And when we were able to verify that the present city of Mosul, the former capital of the country of Niavi, had once been called Nivsi, the city mentioned in the parchment, and that at the present time the population round about this city consisted chiefly of eyesores, we concluded that in all probability the letter referred precisely to these eyesores. If such a school had really existed and had moved somewhere during that period, then it could only have been an Isorian school, and if it should still exist, then it must be among the eyesores, and, taking into consideration the indicated 3 days' journey from Mosul, it must now be situated somewhere between Urumia and Kurdistan, and it should not be too difficult to find out where it was. We therefore decided to go there and try at any cost to find out where the school was situated and then enter it. The Isors, who, as I have said, are descended from the Assyrians, are now scattered all over the earth. There are many of them in Transcaucasia, northwestern Persia, and eastern Turkey, and one finds groups of them throughout the whole of Asia Minor. It is estimated that in all there are about 3 million of them. Most of them are Nestorians, that is, they do not acknowledge the divinity of Christ. Gregorians and others among them are also Yazidis, or devil worshippers, though not in great number. Missionaries of various religions have recently manifested great zeal in converting the Isors to their different faiths, and one must give the Isors their due in that they have no less zealously converted themselves, outwardly changing their faith and even deriving from these conversations so much material benefit that this has become proverbial. In spite of all the differences of faith, almost the entire race is under the authority of the Patriarch of the East Indies. The Isors live mostly in little villages ruled by priests. Several villages, or a certain district, constitute a clan which is ruled over by a prince, or as they call him, a malik. All the maliks are subordinate to the patriarch, whose office is hereditary, passing from uncle to nephew, and is said to derive originally from Simon, the brother of the Lord.